Composite is a vocabulary that's used in the scientific context. This is like a composite, a combination or a synthesis of many different materials. Just like its name, it's not made with a singular material. It's made with a combination, right? A hybrid or an orchestra of material sources that's sourced from nature and then developed in laboratory with scientific techniques, woven all these fibers and liquid materials into one. I'm exploring this notion of like self-woven tapestry. It's almost like a network, a mesh that weave itself. It's not just being made by human, it's self-generated. I would like this artwork to be kind of like a playground of scientific explorations and experimenting, woven with quite a variety, a diversity of different materials sourced from like ocean, there's oceanic bio-sourced materials that's been treated and developed in the laboratory into and sort of like amplifying its feature, its character in nature, and to see how that character could become, you know, re-engineered into such a piece. For the weightless light piece, the weight of the artwork is super, super light. It's like almost like 200 grams for the entire artwork. It's almost like ambiguous in terms of its format and form and structure. It sort of sits between visually and tactilely, like an oyster shell, like a petal, like some sort of a bone structure or a glass. Within this set of playground of material, sort of exploring how far we can go in terms like, you know, again, the feature, how lightweight it could be. Also like applying this new technique that I've developed that is a nanomaterial technology. Is quite, again, very laboratory scientific. There is this non-petrochemical coating that's made with science on the surface of this piece of artwork that kind of mimic the natural iridescence you would find in nature, like on oyster shell, mother of pearl, for example. This shimmery oceanic iridescent lighting that's reflecting on it is recaptured and recontextualized in this piece of work. So I think for me, I'm always interested in materiality, right, as a concept. That's like quite central to my practice. Also like, you know, the materiality in terms of its life cycle of materials, where things will be grown, things are extracted from source, developed, they're engineered, and then they're consumed, they're used, and then in the end they're discarded or decomposed and back to its life cycle begin. How can we create with material considering, taking into account its life cycle, knowing that it will change its appearance, change its color, shape, or textures, or structure even. Knowing that, and also applying that, you know, back into the artworks, and then maybe say this work is ephemeral. For me, I'm using different types of techniques to trying to see how we can create a narrative around the life cycle of these objects, these works that we're creating. My focus is always on this diversity, this spectrum of techniques and processes and methodology and approaches that I'm trying to really experiment with. I think when we talk about environmental art or ecology-inspired art, sometimes it can be very impactful and powerful to see how visually striking the artwork is. But I think it's also really important to have a mission, right? To have this ethos, knowing that you want to be contributing in the society in one way or another. I think it's really important to think of like, who am I doing this for? And where in the context, also like how am I doing a certain thing to contribute to this broader umbrella question. So I'm not just displaying or depicting a situation. I do want to like actively go into the problem, be curious about what the scientific discoveries are. I'm really curious to collaborate, right, with designers, with scientists, with material scientists, with biologists, to see if we can together to bridge disciplines together, I guess.